Automotive News Japan reports that Toyota Motor Corporation, while falling way behind and capturing virtually none of the booming electric car market in China, is on track to dominate the nascent hydrogen market in the country, taking its competition by storm. For a number of years now, Toyota has been investing into hydrogen in China. It believes this genius chess-like strategy will outwit companies like Tesla and enable it to I don't know, actually. I don't think anyone knows exactly what Toyota is planning here. Clearly, their thinking is just so far out of this world, so smart, so far advanced, so mathematical, so genius level, that it's way beyond what even the smartest human beings, the smartest economists, the smartest, most genius, brilliant minds could ever conjure up. I mean, an investment as bad as this, surely, it's got to be genius, right? Yeah. Toyota has more debt than any other company in the world. It just reported a loss in the US, says the only way it can deal with that is to raise prices of its cars across the board. And now it's investing more money into a new hydrogen fuel cell production facility in China. When you actually hear this story, I think even if you're a Toyota lover, even if you're a big fan of Toyota, you'll still have to say, what the heck are they thinking? I mean, seriously, no one in China wants hydrogen-powered cars. And I mean no one. The Chinese ecosystem is set up to be able to produce 100,000 a year. And literally no one is buying them. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thanks for tuning in, guys. My name's Sam Evans, coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. That picture behind me, I did that. And I remember my art teacher, he was like, well, it's your first ever. It's the first one you've ever done. So, you know, good try on your first go. Anyway, I thought I'd put it up there to show you guys what my first attempt was. And maybe I'll show you another one of my attempts soon. On the 24th of October, Toyota Motor broke ground on the first phase of its fuel cell R&D and production base in Beijing, making a big step towards the introduction and promotion of fuel cell technologies in China, it claimed. It involved a total investment of around 8 billion yen, which is only about 55 million US dollars, and it covers an area of 110,000 square meters in the Beijing Economic Technological Development Area. Now, Toyota actually first started to focus on developing fuel cell technologies and hydrogen fuel cells back in 2020 in China. Now, it's been doing this for many years before then, but it went to China to try to produce these vehicles in 2020. And in fact, it's already produced two different types of fuel cell systems called the TL Power 100 and the TL Power 80, both of which Toyota say are capable of industry-leading high power and density and a super long service life of over 30,000 hours. So when I first saw this story, it actually came up in my feed and I thought to myself, hang on a minute, only 20 minutes ago, I was just reading a story about 3 hydrogen fuel cell stations, about 3 hydrogen fuel stations that have closed down in the UK. Why do they close down? Well, because no one wants them. I mean, it's the same story in the United States. Only about 120 hydrogen-powered vehicles were sold in the US over the last 3 months. This is the second biggest auto market in the world. We're talking about a 16 million car market, and they sold 120 in 3 months. So what's that? 40 per month. Literally nothing. They're dead. They're finished in the US. But it was right at that time, in that period in time, where Toyota was like, well, you know what? We've got more debt than any other company in the world. We're not producing EVs. So, you know what? Let's just make hydrogen cars. Wouldn't that be great? That's what everyone's going to want, surely, right? Surely that's what everyone would want. What about in the UK? Well, the UK's hydrogen fuel network has become more modest. In a statement, The companies that own these 3 hydrogen fuel power stations, which cost them many millions of dollars to set up, said these closures will be disruptive for customers. We apologize for that disruption, but frankly, we don't have many customers anyway. No, they didn't say that, but it's true. So, I thought to myself, well, you know what? You never know. Maybe China can find a niche in this car market. And I thought, I'm going to do some research on this. Maybe Toyota can find a niche in this car market. Maybe I'm missing something they're seeing. Maybe they are actually geniuses and I'm frankly the idiot and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, guess what? In the world's biggest car market, a market of 23 million vehicles per year, only 1,586 hydrogen vehicles, both commercial and non-commercial, were sold in 2021 in China. 1,686 out of 23 million. Now, many of you are probably saying, yeah, but it's new technology. Well, General Motors brought out their first hydrogen-powered vehicle in 1966. I'm sorry, my friends. The truth is, people have been working on hydrogen cars for over 50 years. It is far from new technology. And what's worse is that during that same period, electric vehicles exploded in China. The same thing's happened this year. I mean, in China this year, more than 6 million electric vehicles have been sold already in the first 10 months of the year. 6.5 million. You know how many hydrogen-powered vehicles have been sold this year? About 1,000. Now, it is worth considering this fact, which you may not be aware of. China is the largest hydrogen gas producer in the world. It has an annual production of about 33 million tons. And by 2025, China will be expected to master core technologies and manufacturing processes, meaning its hydrogen production will more than triple to 100 to 200,000 metric tons by 2025. Now, surprisingly, there's actually a couple of different hydrogen-powered vehicle manufacturers in China already, which you might not have heard of. There's SAIC, GAC, and also Grove. However, the only reason the hydrogen vehicle market even exists in China at all is thanks to massive subsidies from the Chinese government. You're probably thinking, oh, the Chinese government, they put a lot of money into EVs as well, right? So the fair's fair, that's all right. But the thing is, right, per vehicle produced in China, 100 times more money has gone into production of each car per vehicle produced. In other words, literally hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, actually billions of dollars, have gone into getting the hydrogen network going in China. And it's actually resulted in nothing. Nothing. There is enough production capacity to build 100,000 hydrogen-powered vehicles per year right now in China. The facilities are sitting there. And guess what? They've been mothballed because there isn't the demand from consumers. It just isn't there. You're probably thinking, well, they're hydrogen-powered vehicles. I mean, people don't want them because they're just too expensive. Well, I just mentioned 3 car brands that all sell them, and they're all cheaper than the ones that Toyota produce. They're not actually that expensive. They're about half the price of Toyota's hydrogen-powered fuel cell vehicles. But still, no one wants them. And why on earth would you? Why would you want to keep paying big oil and gas companies to basically put a new version of gasoline into your car, which is just way more flammable, much more explosive? Why would you want to do that when you can simply charge your car with electricity, which you can produce yourself very easily? Now, some of you are probably going to hear this and say, oh, I disagree for X reason, X, blah, 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 and send me an email. Please don't send me an email. I get too many emails already. It's ridiculous. But my key point is here. Consumers are speaking with their wallets. They're talking with their money. What are they doing? 30% of all sold in China right now are electric. Customers have spoken. They've decided. The decision has been made for your Toyota. You cannot force people to buy your hydrogen cars if they don't want to buy them. Now, it's worth considering there's 3 different types of hydrogen. There's grey hydrogen, blue hydrogen, and green hydrogen. Now, grey hydrogen is produced only from fossil fuels, such as natural gas. This obviously causes pollution in the carbon emissions. Blue hydrogen is made from fossil fuel, but with an efficient means of capturing and sequestering the carbon emissions in the process. It does still cause some emissions though. Green hydrogen is hydrogen energy that is completely green and clean. The hydrogen is separated from water by electrolysis through utilizing renewable energy such as wind power and hydropower. Now, yes, of course, to make that wind power and hydropower, we do need to use some emissions generally. However, the thing is, 98% of all hydrogen produced in China is, well, actually grey hydrogen, meaning, yes, it's basically emitting pretty much as much fossil fuel emissions into the atmosphere as gasoline is. There's also one other big problem: transportation and storage of hydrogen. The transportation and storage of hydrogen in China is very costly. There's still a big gap in technology with Western countries. In China, they generally use a tube trailer to transport gas and hydrogen over a short distance. But at present, the pressure of gas storage tanks used in China is 20 MPa, which is lower than the foreign standard of 50 MPa. As a result, tube trailer in China can only deliver a small amount of hydrogen each time. So it incurs huge logistics costs to meet a large amount of hydrogen demand, if that demand were ever to come up, that is. Now, converting hydrogen to liquid hydrogen and utilizing a liquid truck for transport can significantly increase the amount of hydrogen in a single transport vehicle. But maintaining the hydrogen at a liquid state requires a temperature of minus 252.8 degrees Celsius. That uses a significant amount of energy in the process. Now, there's one other drawback, and that is hydrogen fueling stations. A hydrogen station can supply around 500 kilograms of hydrogen a day, and that requires an initial investment of 7 to 12 billion RMB, about 3 times as much as a regular gas station. When you hear that number, do you really think it's realistic that investors are going to jump onto the hydrogen bandwagon and start putting up hydrogen-powered vehicle stations all over China when everyone clearly wants electric cars? Yeah, I didn't think so. Now, Toyota actually announced back in January of this year that it would start selling hydrogen-powered passenger cars in China this year. Guess how many it's sold? 10. I kid you not. In the last 10 months, they've sold 10 of them. And they just decided, hey, let's go and invest another $60 million US, spend a bit more debt, rack up a bit more debt, because, hey, there's so much demand for hydrogen-powered cars in China, when clearly there is not, and this doesn't make any sense to me at all. In fact, I'm racking my brains because I cannot work out what on earth is going on at Toyota. This company has completely lost control. It does not have a plan. It's just doing things willy-nilly. Whatever it feels like, whatever sounds good at the time, it decides to do it. Now, if you disagree with that, tell me what Toyota have done in the last 5 years, which was a brilliant strategic or just a smart, intelligent strategic move for the future, for what people want, for what kind of cars people actually want in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.